What's going on, guys? My name's Ryan, and welcome to the Talking Foot. Drop it. Alright, so the first match of the week was Tottenham-Liverpool, which finished at an interesting 1-1. And what I saw from the game was it's been sort of a weak start for both the teams in the Premier League this year, and both Pochettino and Klopp have been trying to figure out what the best balance for the team is right now, but neither of them really have. I think as the season progresses, we're going to see the teams come in a lot more. That's sort of what happened with Tottenham last year, and to an extent Liverpool, although they still have a little more kinks to work out. Alright, the next game we're doing is Watford-Arsenal, and Arsenal won this game 3-1. Arsenal were fantastic for the first 45 minutes. They got 3 goals, 2 goals in the first 18 minutes, and they dominated the entire spectrum of play. In the second half, they kind of took their foot off the gas pedal, and Watford came into the game a little bit more, but by that time the game was already over, so it wasn't too detrimental. Pereira, who was just signed from Juventus for Watford, looked like a very good signing, and he did actually get a goal on his debut as he was subbed in. Watford do have some warning signs, but I think they'll be okay for this season. There are a couple teams that I do think are worse than them, and they should survive. Alright, the next game we've got is Chelsea-Burnley, and this game finished 3-0 to Chelsea. A fantastic game for Chelsea. Conte has worked his magic, and so far it has been fantastic for Chelsea. Hazard looks like his old season form, and in fact, everyone looks like their old season form. And Conte has just proven to be a workhorse in the midfield. Burnley, on the other hand, I don't know what's going to happen to them this season. They haven't bought up top, and their attack is worse than I think it was even when they were up 2 years ago. I don't think Gray's as good as Danny Ings, and they're going to need to figure out somehow, because so far they did win with 19% possession against Liverpool, but that's not going to work every game for the rest of the season. They're going to need to figure out a way to stay up. Alright, the next game we're going to talk about is Crystal Palace versus Bournemouth. A respectable 1-1 draw for both sides. The biggest concern that Crystal Palace had coming into this game was that they didn't have enough firepower up top. But Benteke, who they just signed for their club record fee, seems to be someone who can definitely give them that firepower up top. Especially, I think he will work well with Zaha and Townsend on the wings. But that is if Zaha stays, because he is likely to leave, according to sources like Sky Sports. Bournemouth, on the other hand, they're called the mini Arsenal for a reason, but right now they don't have the attacking edge that I think they need right now, and they're going to struggle this season because they just don't have the players there. Eddie Howe is a fantastic manager, but the attackers are lacking this season. They bought young, and they bought for the midfield, so I don't know how that's going to work out for them. I would say probably around mid-table to lower end obscurity, but I don't know. Who's to say? They could shock me. They could shock me. Alright, this next game we're going to talk about is Everton-Stoke City. Everton won this game 1-0, and in all honesty, deserved it quite thoroughly. Everton, even though they started off shaky, have really come into it the last couple games. They've got great signings like Ashley Williams, and I think he's going to be a solid rock for the hole that John Stones had left when he replaced them. And to be honest, they look like they're firing on all cylinders right now. Koeman has got them doing really well. Stoke, on the other hand, are in a shambles. Right now, they're bottom of the league, and they kind of just don't look like the great side that they were last season. And Bojan has really not started off this season well. And right now, I think they probably need a couple signings, but I don't know. They don't. I haven't heard them linked with anyone, so I think it will probably be not a great season for Stoke. Even though I thought in my predictions I had them finishing at 9th, I'm not sure they can finish in top half, judging by these 3 games. Alright, the next game we're talking about is going to be Leicester-Swansea. Leicester came in not doing too well for the first 2 games, but in this game, they looked exactly like their old selves and won 2-1. They fired on all cylinders today, and for the first 70 minutes were fantastic. 2-0, and everything was going well. But then something happened, and I think Swansea probably just turned it up a notch, and they did, in fact, get a goal. But I think Leicester probably had it in the bag at that time. So I think that it was a very confident and good performance from Leicester City. Swansea, as usual, had the majority of the possession, but I think their attackers just need to get settled into the Premier League a bit. They've got Fernando Llorente and also Borja Baston from Atletico Madrid, who is their record signing. And I think once those two find the right partnership, I think they could be a formidable force this season. Alright, the next game we're going to talk about is Sunderland and Southampton, a game that finished 1-1. Attacking, I think, is going to be an issue for both sides this year, more so for Sunderland, but I can see it as an issue for Southampton as well. But they did just sign Sofiane Boufal from Lille, who had a fantastic season in Ligue 1 last year. And I think Southampton have got a lot of young talents right now. And it's really up for debate whether they're going to be doing well or not. But I would say that they can. Although I don't know much about Pure, so then again, there's that. David Moyes, he's got to work this Sunderland team like he did at Everton. Even though that was 3 jobs ago, he was fantastic at Everton. And if he can get them even 75% to what they were at Everton, I think he could establish them as a side that can be in the Premier League, not one that's constantly fighting for relegation as they have been for the past few years. Alright, next up is Match of the Week. Alright, this game was between Hull and Manchester United, and although Manchester United beat Hull 1-0, which seems like a boring scoreline, this game was fascinating to watch. Hull City, with all their depletements, still had a great defense. Curtis Davies, genuinely, I think, could be called up to the English national team this year if he continues to defend like that for Hull. Hull was so close to starting this season undefeated, but it took Marcus Rashford, the future of England, to score in the 92nd minute, Fergie time, as commonly known in Manchester United. And it was a fantastic performance from Marcus Rashford, who really injected life into this Manchester United team that didn't really know how to break down Hull. And Rooney, for all his detractors, gave the brilliant assist from across where he beat one man and crossed it in. Now we get on to the Sunday games. And the first game on Sunday was between West Brom and Middlesbrough, which was honestly one of the most boring matches of this entire Premier League season. It finished 0-0, and I think there might have been 1 or 2 actual clear-cut chances in the entire game. I am obviously a West Brom fan, and that game infuriated me because Tony Pulis freaking wasn't attacking at home against Middlesbrough, a newly promoted team. And with all due respect to Middlesbrough, you were a newly promoted team, and West Brom should have been taking advantage of that and attacking at home, but they weren't. Luckily, West Brom have just signed Nasser Chadli, who I think is going to be a great addition for our attacking prowess. And Middlesbrough have had some very respectable draws at the beginning of the season, as well as a win. So right now, Middlesbrough is looking actually pretty decent, and I think attacking-wise, they have Negredo, but I think they need either a winger or a shadow forward that can supplement Negredo well. That's Premier League quality and Premier League proven if they want to score goals on a more consistent basis. Although they were the best defensive team in the championship last year, and I think they only allowed 31 goals in 46 games, which is remarkable. All in all, I think they should be in for a decent season. Alright, and this brings us to the last game of the week, which is Man City versus West Ham. Man City are looking magisterial. Guardiola has fully imprinted himself into the side, and he's got them firing on all cylinders. Raheem Sterling looks like the 50 million signing that he was supposed to be last season. Looking fantastic, and the goal he scored at the end of the game was honestly one of the greatest angles I've ever seen in a football match. West Ham, on the other hand, have been not good at all this season. They've capitulated in the Europa League with all these new signings, a new team. They've really just been far below expectations this season, and I don't know. They just signed Simon Zaza from Juventus, who is an Italy international, so we'll see. But I think if you're a West Ham fan, you're going to be very, very apprehensive and nervous about this upcoming season. I don't know if they could even finish anywhere close to 7th, but right now they have a lot of injuries, but also the players that are supposed to be performing well aren't performing well. So that's going to be an issue. And now the issue that I really want to talk about this week, and that is the top 3 of the table. You've got Manchester United, Man City, Chelsea, all undefeated, all looking fantastic. And this, I think, is just going to be the general theme of this entire season. I think these 3 teams have to be all considered strong favorites for title contenders. The big teams from last year, Tottenham, Leicester, Arsenal, they just don't seem like they're going to get going. I personally think Arsenal is probably going to finish 4th, but all 3 of those teams, they're really not anywhere close to where the elite managers Mourinho, Guardiola, and Conte have brought up Chelsea, Arsenal, Chelsea, Man City, and Manchester United this year. So we'll see, but it's going to be a very interesting title race, and I really think that Manchester United, Manchester City, and Chelsea are going to go down to the wire at the end of the season. Alright, so drop a like, subscribe if you enjoyed. I post videos here, I don't know, every 4 or 5 times a week. And thank you.